Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Mornings. I am your host, Patricia Rivera Wolfson, and I am an intuitive coach, an energy practitioner, and a life strategist. And I help people connect to their inner power and gain clarity and confidence to lead their life with passion and compassion. Ooh, I came up with that one this morning. What do you guys think? I like it. Okay. So, welcome to the show. I sang good morning, but it's actually technically not morning once again here, at least in New York, which is where I'm broadcasting from. But it is in LA and a few other places. Um, on the west side. So good morning to you, West Siders, and good afternoon to everyone else on the east side. I don't know. It's just what I could make happen today. So thank you and welcome. And I'm really excited to be here. And I'm excited to tell you a little bit of my story. So I had a whole other show planned today. And then my bestie, Linda, called me and said, "You have to tell your story today." And when she gets an intuitive hit that I need to tell my story, well, I guess that's what I listen to because I just redid all the content to come here and tell you guys about my story of, I like to call it my awakening story because I really see that moment in life that I'm going to tell you about as kind of where everything changed, where I had an epiphany that I really believe was a message sent by God to me, and it was given to me in a way that I could understand it, so that then I could start making the changes. Whether first in perspective and energetic changes, to then transmute them into physical changes. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. And the reason I'm going to tell you that is because at the time when this happened, it kind of felt like my entire life was falling apart. And I feel that that's appropriate right now at this time in our lives, because it kind of feels like things are falling apart. I don't know. Probably for many people personally, most definitely for a lot of people nationally and even globally. It kind of feels like it's a free for all, and nobody is quite clear on what's happening. Everything feels upside down. And like I said, it feels like it's falling apart. And so I can't speak to what's happening outside of me at the moment, but I can tell you when I felt this way in my own life over 20 years ago, and then how I navigated through that time and how things evolved to get me to where I am today. Now, that's not to say that I'm a person who has no challenges. Definitely not if you've been watching. But it is to say that from that moment on, I got the type of clarity that gave me the tools that I still use today to help me navigate chaos and also to put me in a different energetic position so that I felt more in control of my life, more in control of my choices. And it brought me, or it made me more connected to who I am. And that was really important on that journey. And I believe it's really important for your journey too. Okay. So, um, I'm going to tell that story, but first we're going to do our little warm up, okay? Because I think it's important. It's our little sacred start, right? It is just something that I feel that sets us and grounds us for the day. So we're going to do that together, and then I'm going to talk about my story and hopefully share some insight that you may be me some insight that you may oh my god, not but some insight that you may be able to use and apply for your own journey at this stage of your life, right? Because when I talk about this awakening moment and where everything changed for me was now over 20, it was over 20 years ago, maybe 25, a long time ago. And I believe that things sort of happen in cycles. That was also sort of like the 20s. um, late 20s, early 30s kind of crisis that I think we all go through. And now, for those of you who are my age, we're hitting that crisis point again where all of a sudden nothing is what you thought it was. Here we are on the precipice. Many people are on the precipice of midlife or in midlife. I'm 50. You are probably, if you're anywhere near me, give or take 5 years, right? You're probably experiencing a lot of the same things that I am. Hello, my love. I see you. So, let's do our warm up and then I'm going to tell you the story. Okay, so let's do that first. I'm going to light the candle. We're going to say our little prayer together, and we're going to start this day off right. Okay. And I like to get us grounded and connected to our bodies so that we can, be energetically ready to receive whatever the day has to offer. Okay. So let's take 3 deep breaths. And as you breathe in, I want you to imagine yourself pulling in all of the love, light, and good life giving energy, pulling it into your body. Hold for 5 seconds. And while you're holding, imagine that energy just going through your whole body and just activating all your cells. And then when you exhale, I want you to release anything that doesn't serve you, right? So as it activates your cells, you're going to just feel that anything you don't need just dissipates and dissolves. And then you'll release it with your breath. Okay. We're going to do that 3 times. Okay. Deep breath in. And release. Okay, do that one more time. And release. And a final time, take that deep breath, really make it count. We're expanding our capacity for breath and life force energy. And then release slowly to activate that parasympathetic nervous system, okay, or that parasympathetic system. Okay, here we go. And release. Whew, never fails. Every time I do that last breath, my body starts to heat up. So that's either spirit coming in or I've activated my perimenopause. Either way, we're good. Okay. So now we'll do a little stretching. Okay. And I just want you to know that the stretching is, again, in order for you to release any sort of tension or stuckness that you may be feeling physically in your body, represented by tension and that tightness and whatever it is that you're feeling that's not flowing. So we're going to do that. Okay. And then we shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Okay. Now we're going to say our little prayer. Okay. We're going to call in our spiritual support team. I'm going to request that you do the same. Either, just sit quietly and listen to my prayer, say your own, or you can just sit quietly and ask for your spiritual support team to show up and help you set an intention for the day, which is what we're going to do right now. Okay. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Thank you, thank you, thank you for helping me and helping all of us set an intention that is in alignment with our highest good for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you for showing us the signs and synchronicities and messages in nature, music, movies, through the cards that I pull, and through the words of others today and always. I appreciate you. I serve you. And I am grateful for any wisdom you may have for me or the collective on this day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it. And so it is. Okay, so I want you to just take a moment and set your intention or reflect on your GPS word. Think about how you want this day to go and let it settle into your body. And while you are reflecting on that, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just ding that little notification bell so that you can be notified when I do go live, which is usually weekday mornings. Although sometimes, as today, not always the morning, it's basically when I can show up, okay? And if you would like a personal reading or a strategy session, then you can go ahead into the link into my description. There's the link there to book yourself an appointment. And also don't forget to download your free transformational guide where I have energy tips and hacks, including how to choose your GPS word. So if I talk about the GPS and you don't know what I'm talking about, go download it and take a look, and that will help you choose your word. Okay. So let's begin because we want to get down to the bottom of this, right? So have you ever looked at your life and asked yourself, why does everything feel like it's falling apart? Well, I've been there, okay? And the story I'm going to tell you is when I used to live in New York, right? I moved to New York in 1999. Okay, don't do the math. And it was the week of my 25th birthday. Again, don't do that. No, you can do the math. I just told you my age. Who cares? Whatever. Okay. So, but 2.5 years later, it was after September 11th. And although that wasn't the reason that I was distraught, although it did contribute because it was an external representation of the chaos and insanity going on in my own personal life. So around that time, I moved back home to Toronto to recalibrate myself, to reset myself. I didn't have a clear direction of where I was going or what I was doing, or, I just was lost and confused. And it really did feel like everything was falling apart. And then reflected on the outside world as evidenced by September 11th and all the chaos that followed with that energetic chaos, how things felt, how everything felt unsafe. So no matter how much I tried, okay, um, I just knew I needed some type of support, and I didn't even know what kind of support. So I went home. And I cried every single day. And my family and my friends, they tried to help me, but they really couldn't because there was nothing that they could do for me. It was just what I was going through. I felt completely defeated and confused and ashamed and completely overwhelmed with guilt because I thought, like, I had such a good life and things were going so well. What happened? Why is everything falling apart? I didn't recognize the woman that I had become. And I was 29 years old and just like not seeing what possibilities existed. I was just like, I didn't really have a good job, a good solid job. I didn't have a good solid partner. Um, it was just rough. Okay. And no matter how hard I tried to snap myself out of it, and I'm very good at like shifting my mind, I couldn't. Okay. And I realized, and I share this in my emails and probably my social media posts, like you can't think your way out of emotional chaos. You have to feel your way through it. You have to go through it. You have to feel sad and scared and alone. You have to feel angry and frustrated and lost. You have to feel everything. Okay. And that was the beginning of everything for me and my awakening. Okay. And that's the story that I'm going to tell you. Right. So I was going through all this and I just didn't know what to do. Right. And at the time, um, I had my very good friend who then eventually became my roommate, Greg, who I would talk to, and I would talk to my friends, and they would try to give me their thoughts and, encouragement. And at the time, my friend Greg was like, you know what, you sound like you're having a really rough time. Why don't we go to Memphis and go see Memphis in May? Now, Memphis in May was a blues festival. And for those of you who knew me back then, I was performing and singing, and the album that I had written, I think in 2001, was like a blues soul album. So I was really into blues music at the time and really into like that sort of culture. And one of my friends, this guy Anthony Gomes, was performing in the Memphis in May Festival, which is really big for a musician. And so Greg knew him and was like, why don't we go to Memphis in May and go see Anthony play? And I was like, you know what? Great. So I took off for a week and or a weekend or whatever, and we went to this show. And in the meantime, while I was going through all this stuff, I was still like, I was trying to I was trying to make decisions and was trying to like better my life. And I just kept asking myself, what will make me happy? What will make me happy? And I didn't get an answer for a really long time. I didn't know. I couldn't feel into my happiness. All I could see was my sadness and my despair and my frustration and my anger with myself that I had put myself in this position in my life. And so one day I had this epiphany, and it was like, what if, like, this was just like hit me like, "Meh." What if my body is filled with magnets? Okay. And what if those magnets are what's attracting all the chaos in my life? So it was like this, just this like sort of, okay, and I imagined that my body, right, was filled with magnets, like the whole from head to toe, right? And they were facing the wrong way. That's the way I saw it. Like they're facing the wrong way because, like, when you attract, right, the magnets like will pull things to them. And I was like, I am attracting chaos. I'm attracting all of these crazy things into my life because I don't have my magnets facing the right way. Right. So I started thinking, how can I switch the magnets? How can I start to change what is happening? And so it was during this time that Greg called me, invited me to go to this trip in Memphis. And that was like the first sort of kick off to me trying to do things that made me happy, no matter whether or not I felt happy or not. I was just like, this sounds interesting. This sounds fun. I wanted to hang out with my friend Greg, who I had like left New York and hadn't hung out with him in a while. So I was like, you know what? Let's do this. This will be good. And when I got to Memphis, I told him my epiphany about magnets. And I said to him, like, I think I just need to learn about energy management. I think I need to learn how to navigate this energy and how to switch things, how to turn things around. And I didn't know exactly how to do it. And he was like, he listened, as my good friend did and does when I speak to him. And on the way home, okay, and I want you to understand how the universe works, and this is why I'm telling you this story. So I had this epiphany. The magnets in my body need to be switched, okay? And I didn't really know anything about energy at the time in terms of like that's kind of actually how it is, but that's another story. Okay? But I was just like, how am I going to do this? I need to learn how to navigate my energy management. I need to learn about energy management. Okay, so we go to Memphis. We have a great week, or weekend, whatever. It was a great time. I felt really good. And on the way home, I flew to Toronto. He flew back to New York. And next to Greg on that flight was a woman reading a book called Vibrational Medicine. Okay, now vibrational medicine is a book all about energy and stuff. But Greg, because he paid attention to what I said to him, sees the book on vibrational medicine and does not think it's a coincidence, but doesn't start a conversation with the woman quite yet. But eventually she starts a conversation with him because that's how the universe helps you, right? So she starts a conversation with him, and it turns out that she is the author of a book. The woman's name is Barbara Gray. Okay. She's the author of a book called, lo and behold, Energy Management. Okay. Literally, the name of her book was Energy Management. So Greg, who once again understands that this is not a coincidence, takes the woman's card, calls me and says, you need to immediately buy this woman's book because God has sent her. Like it was like, there's the answer to your question. You wanted to know about energy management? Here's a book on energy management. And I did buy that book and I did read it. And it taught me so many things. And I believe that book, I think you can still go and buy it on Amazon. So I encourage anyone who is interested. It is a simple book. Like it's vibrational medicine is like a humongous book. It's like, I don't know, 1,000 pages. It's just huge. And there's a lot of like scientific details that may or may not be helpful in trying to understand energy, right? But the woman, Barbara Gray's book on energy management, really explained it in simple ways that I understood and that I was able to then apply what she had taught in the book to my own life. But really, at the end of the day, what it was a message that I had the power to Switch my magnets, okay? And that's really, like, a little bit about what, like, me first is, right? Is practicing switching your magnets. It is the practice of leaning into things that feel good to you versus the things that don't feel good. Now, obviously, we are always going to have to face things that don't feel good, okay? Because that's life, because life is about contrast. Life is about understanding what you love by knowing what you don't love, understanding and appreciating the light because you have darkness, right? And I started this journey. Um, and I think why I came up with this concept because I had given up on finding a solution. I was just like, I'm just gonna fall apart. I'm just gonna crumble. I surrendered my life at the time to my circumstances, right? And I was just like, and every day I cried and tried to think about what would make me happy, what will really, truly make me happy. And some of the things that I realized during that time was that trying to please other people and live my life for other people's expectations was not going to make me happy. Trying to fix myself and the things that I thought were wrong with me and preventing me from, having everything I want, like that energy of trying to fix the broken version of me was not helping me. Okay. And that's why I talk about like, you're not broken. You are not broken. We may feel blocked. We may feel stuck. We may feel disillusioned, but we are not broken. You are not broken if you feel like your life is falling apart right now. You are not broken. That is your evolution. That is God's spirit, whoever, whatever power you believe in, leading you along the path to help you find yourself when things don't feel right, when everything feels like it doesn't fit. It's because it doesn't fit. It's because it's not for you anymore. It is because you have probably ignored your inner voice, your inner wants and needs, and your inner guidance for so long that you are completely disconnected from everything within you because you are looking outward for guidance. You are looking outward for validation. You are looking outward for support. Now, you guys know I'm the first person to say, like, we need to work together and we need to, like, everything is better together. And I truly still believe that. I wouldn't have pulled myself out of my funk if it were not for my friends, such as my friend Greg at the time and many other friends and family who really tried to give me options, invite me out, and help me get me out of my funk. So we need each other, right? But everything begins with you. Everything begins within. Okay. You don't need to fix yourself. You're not broken. You don't need to become someone. You already are someone. You are someone right now. You are someone that is lovable. You are someone who brings light into the world. You are someone that is necessary on this planet to give your light, to give your love, to give your compassion, even if you don't have a lot of it, even if you don't feel it, even if you don't see it. Okay. If the world was a dark, dark place, which sometimes it feels like it is, but let's just imagine that the world is a dark place. Okay. Every flashlight that goes on brings light. Now, that flashlight doesn't have to do anything but turn on, right? It just has to be a flashlight. It just has to give light. And that is our job. Our job here is to give light, as much light as possible. And what prevents us from giving that light is, sort of like the dirt that's thrown on top of it. Like I imagine like we're a little light, right? We put it on the ground and we throw some dirt on it and it starts to get covered. And all of a sudden the flashlight, we can't see the light coming from the flashlight because there's so much dirt and debris on it. Well, all you need to do, like that flashlight's not broken, it's just covered. Okay. It's just being blocked. The light is being covered by dirt and whatever else. Right. So, what you need to do is you just need to remove the dirt. You need to, sort of clean the lenses. You need to understand that that light is perfect as it is. And we just need to take the dust off. right? And so how do you do that? You just start to like, wipe yourself off and take action, move forward, move towards the things that feel good to you, okay? Move towards the things that sound fun. Be curious, because you are not broken. You are being guided. If your life is falling apart, it is because those things that are leaving your life do not serve you. They do not serve your future self. Okay? You are not too much. You are powerful beyond measure. You do not need fixing, you need alignment, right? You need to connect with your inner voice. You need to connect with your inner power. You need to connect with that inner light, right? Because what is that inner light and that inner voice and that inner power connected to? It's connected to spirit. It's connected to God, right? Because that is where we get our power. That is the source of our light. That is the source of our passion. That is the source of our experience, of our life force energy. And it is up to you to make sure that that life force energy is allowed to express itself in whatever way you need to express yourself. You are the expression of that life force energy. You are the powerful light being that gets to shine that love and light in whatever way feels good to you, in whatever way resonates with you, in whatever way feels natural to you. And here's the thing, it may not feel natural all these years later, right? It feels natural as a kid, right? When you're a kid, it feels natural to laugh, to jump, to play, to go with the flow, to be disappointed, and then to be cheered up immediately, right? Because kids are not attached to their emotions the way we are. They move through things easier because they're connected to their beingness. They're connected to their light. They're connected to their well-being, right? Until we kind of squash it out of them, and not on purpose and not in a bad way. And I'm a mom, and I'm not here like to disparage parenting, because it's a really tough job, right? But as a society, we've been trained to diminish people's power, to diminish people's light. And it's unfortunate, but it just is, right? So now, at this point of your life, if you are in a place where you're like, I don't know what to do, I feel broken, I feel despair, I feel lost and afraid, I want you to lean in to yourself, lean into the whisper, and I want you to focus on what can make me happy. Or say it however you want. That's why I use the GPS word, right? It's like, what can make me feel peace? What will help me feel abundant? What will help me to feel whatever it is that you really want to feel? So if you're feeling despair, maybe what you want most is hope, right? And maybe that's how you find your GPS. I mean, that's also how you find your GPS word, right? Is like you look at the feeling that you hold right now, the feeling that you feel, the bad feeling, or the feeling that that is most present for you, that is most triggering for you, that is activating the difficulties for you. I want you to think whatever that feeling is, whether it's sadness or frustration or despair, right? If you're feeling despair, like I said, then what you want to bring into your life is hope. If you are feeling abandoned, then what you want to bring into your life is connection. Okay. If you are feeling lack, then what you want to call into your life is abundance, right? And how do you do that, right? How do you do that? Is you practice. You practice. What can I do to make me feel more abundant today? What would I do if I already was abundant? What would I do if I already was connected? How would I react? Or what actions or decisions would I make if I already felt loved beyond measure? If I already felt worthy? If I already felt rich? If I already felt connected to my highest self, right? Like how would your actions change? How would your decisions differ from what you are doing now if you knew without a shadow of a doubt that you were always divinely guided and supported, that everything happening to you is happening for your evolution, that is happening for your future self, that is happening so that you can become the person that you've been trying to become to achieve the things that you want to achieve, right? I still believe that my magnets were switched. I believed that I wasn't good enough. I believed I was too much. I believed I was broken. And as I slowly started practicing the opposite feeling, practicing feeling useful, practicing feeling worthy, right? By calling friends, by taking actions, by stepping out of my comfort zone, right? And I needed to do that. A lot of that, I needed to do it with help. I needed to borrow other people's confidence. I needed to borrow other people's faith. I needed to borrow other people's validation. Not that I was counting on it, but it helped bridge the gap between despair and hope. When I saw other people trying to help me, it gave me hope that, I couldn't see yet how to help myself, but other people's belief in me, other people's belief in what I was capable of, it supported me and it helped me, which is why I talk about so often building your team, building your support system, building a community around, mutual give and take and support and compassion and grace, right? Because we're all doing this together, whether or not you want to admit that you are living life with your neighbors and with your family, no matter how much they drive you crazy or how different they are from you, or wherever you guys stand on the political spectrum, we're still got to get through this together. We still have to do this together, but you will not be able to accept other people's kindness or compassion if you don't have any for yourself. You will not be able to accept the miracles that God brings you if you don't believe you deserve miracles. You will not be able to receive the love and support around you if you block yourself off from any connection because you don't believe that you are worthy, because you believe you're broken, because you don't believe you deserve it. So I urge you to, one step at a time, start switching those magnets, right? Anytime anything comes up for you that doesn't feel good to you, that you feel uncomfortable with, you need to ask yourself, is this true about me, or is this something I can practice? Right? I can practice shifting out of. Can I practice feeling better about this? Can I take an action that will help me practice feeling more confident? What can I practice to give me clarity? Right? That's what I want you to ask yourself today. And let me tell you, tomorrow is a full moon, right? Tomorrow is the full buck moon in Capricorn. And so I will be doing card pulling tomorrow for the full moon. And also, I want you to take this time because Capricorn is all about structure, okay? And it's all about taking care of business. So one of the things that I want you to do is I want you to write down today or tomorrow, whenever you get a chance, okay, within the next 3 days, if possible. I want you to sit down and I want you to write down the habits and the limiting beliefs, or let's start with the habits that you have right now that are not bringing you joy, right? That are not building, that are not helping you create the feeling you want to create. Now, this is not about, I want to, like I hate cleaning the house. Okay. Like I hate doing like those day-to-day things, but I need to do them because if I don't do them, I don't feel good. So what is it that you are holding on to, or what habit are you repeating, or what are you avoiding in your life that is blocking you from that feeling you want, that is blocking you from feeling safe or worthy or abundant or anything else, right? What is blocking you? What are you doing that is not supportive of that feeling, right? If you are shit talking yourself, that's not helpful. If you're shit talking other people, that's not helpful either, right? Because you are the light, right? So how are you shining that light? And what is preventing you from shining that light? So whatever is preventing you from shining that light, whatever causes you to hide, whatever causes you to cower, whatever prevents you from stepping into your power, speaking up for yourself, advocating for yourself, even if that's just advocating for yourself in your own head, That is what you need to release. And I want you to set the intention to release those things. And you may not be able to release it right away. You may not be able to release it all at once. But I promise you that bit by bit, as you take actions that are supportive of the feeling that you want to draw into your life, as you take actions that embody that success, that worthiness, that connection, that love, that validation that you want, once you embody that, that will switch your magnets, okay? That will give you the clarity and the confidence and the evidence that you can achieve the life you want, one step at a time, one decision at a time, one experience at a time, where you get to make a different choice, where you get to take a different action. And even if you find yourself falling back or repeating the same things over and over again, that's okay. That's okay, because it's practice. You are practicing. So, you have a conversation with somebody and it triggers you and you start freaking out. That's okay. Whenever you are able to get a hold of yourself, or whenever you're able to kind of gather yourself, you can step back, you can repair that relationship if necessary, right? And you can start to just be aware of what led you to that place, of what was it that really got you, right? And then go through those 7 steps that we went through the last 2 weeks, right? Go through the 7 steps, find out what's triggering you, name it, validate it, change the story, and start practicing doing things differently, okay? Because I believe that you, just the way I did, can switch those magnets and start shifting life. Because you know what happened? After I realized that whether or not it was true the way it happened, this is what actually happened in my life. As I started to take decisive action to be more curious, to do things that made me feel good, even if I wasn't 100%, right? But just kind of practicing doing the things that made me happy, making the decisions that deep inside I knew I had to make, even though I wasn't sure, even though I wasn't clear, even though other people told me, "You're crazy. Why are you doing that?" This is what happened as a result. I finally came to the conclusion at that time. The whisper in my head kept telling me to go back to New York. And I don't know why it kept telling, well, I do know why it kept telling me to go back to New York. But at the time, I didn't realize why I wanted to go back to New York. And the whisper was like, go back to New York, go back to New York. I had nothing here. I mean, I had my friend Greg, and I had other friends, and a life that I had lived here for 2.5 years. But I did not have, there wasn't anything happening in my life at that time that really made sense for me to go back to New York. There just really wasn't. But something in me just was like, you have to go back. And I remember telling my friends, and I remember telling my family, and nobody really understood why I was coming back. But I did. I did come back, because that's what my instinct was telling me. That's what the whispers were saying. And I was trying to build a relationship with myself. And I was desperately trying to switch my magnets. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And I didn't go back to the same place I was working before. I found a new place. I found some new people. I started to slowly shift my habits. I started shifting my mindset and understanding that I had more control than I had previously thought, right? What I think, what I say, what I do makes a difference. What I think, what I say, what I do matters. Okay. And I started to make decisions and take action as if I was the one navigating the ship. And so I did. I moved back to New York in November of 2003. In April of 2004, I met my husband. And that was the reason why I moved to New York. That was the whisper telling me, you have to go back because he's there. And I didn't know. And I didn't come back to meet someone. That was not what my purpose was. I came back because I wanted to show myself that I could come back, that I could live a life, that I could do this, right? And in that time, when I was looking out for myself, putting myself first, and understanding my power, is when I met the love of my life, who then confirmed all the things that I thought about myself. He thought I was awesome. He validated me. He made me feel beautiful. He never made me feel like I was too much, right? And he had gone through his own things in his own life. Oh, hi, Gabby. Hi, Mom. Gabby, you remember I was on your couch when we were talking about Scott. No, we weren't talking about Scott. We were talking about me moving back to New York. And you guys were like, what? Why would you do that? But I did, because something inside me told me that I had to. And thank God I listened. Now, we all know now I'm a widow and the love of my life does not exist on the physical plane anymore. But that's okay, because I would do it all again. I would do it all again 150,000 times, because I got to live my dream with my dream life, like with my dream partner. Okay. I had everything that I could ever want in that relationship. He loved me. He appreciated me. We had so much fun together. Every day was like a sleepover. And those of you who knew us, or, who knew us when we were together, know that this is not bullshit. I'm not lying. It was a perfect relationship in all senses of the word, of what you might imagine. Um, and it is devastating to me that I don't have that anymore. But like I said, I would do it all again, because that gave me hope and confidence and the clarity to know that I was right. I was right in my heart. I was right. I was right to know that I was worthy. I was right to know that I could do what I needed to do. I was right to think that I could have a beautiful life with somebody who could totally appreciate me for who I am, that I didn't have to change for, that I didn't have to be different for. And I'm telling you this because I believe that for you too. Whether it is that you're looking for your partner, right? Or if you're looking for your ideal job, or you're just looking to find a life that feels fulfilling and not like you're just grinding every day, a life that feels like you're thriving and not like you're just trying to survive. I'm here to tell you that it's possible. Okay, even if it doesn't feel possible right now. And I'm here to tell you that you may feel like this many times in your life, right? I am still in the process of going through an incredible transformation, because the external circumstances of my life have changed so drastically that there are things that I need to do. And I will continue to believe that the things that have happened to me, and even the shitty circumstance of now being a widow with 3 children to raise on my own, with the love and support of my family, but still, responsibility is mine. I still believe that everything somehow is working out for me. For whatever reason, this was God's plan. And I don't question God's plan. I just keep moving forward. I keep shining my light, and I will keep showing up here for you as much as possible whenever I can, to remind you that you are the light. You are the power. You are the love. You are what you're looking for. And so you need to step into that. You need to become that, not for other people, for yourself, so that you know you can, so that you can truly understand how important and significant your light is in this world. It's significant for you, it's significant for your loved ones, it's significant for your community. And so I share this with you because I hope that it will give you some hope, and it will give you um, a way of looking at things, so that you understand that you have more power than you think you do, and you can become the person you want. And it may be hard, but you've got this. And if you need any support along the way, if you need a good reminder, just keep tuning in to my YouTube channel. If you want a session, go ahead and book a session with me. We will talk through whatever it is you're struggling with. We will come up with a plan. And I will help you come up with whatever practice you need to come up with in order for you to start moving in the direction that feels good and resonant for you. Okay, that's my thing today. Should we pull one card? I'll pull one card because I always like to. What is our message for today? Okay, what message can I send people off on today? Okay, so tell me. Woo! Guys, I am so hot right now. It is hot flash central right now. Okay. All right. What's the message? King of Wands. Look at this. That King of Wands, the king of passion and fire and like go for itness. Okay. It's go for it. Right. The King of Wands is going to take you on an adventure. It is going to help you connect with your passion. It is going to remind you that you can get what you want, you can get what you need, that you have the power. That wand is in his hand. Okay? Look at that beautiful blossoming flower at the end of his wand. Okay? You have the power, you have the light. Nurture it, nourish it, be it. I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.